My name is Natalie Tusow. I'm from Perham, Minnesota, and I go to Perham High School. Arvig sent me to Washington, D.C. to attend the Foundation for Rural Services Youth Tour. And there were probably a little over 100 other students, high school students there as well. And we all got to take a look at our nation's capital and a look at rural broadband. I think the most surprising thing was probably honestly just how much attention there is on rural communities in our country and things like rural broadband. Like, you think of our government, but you really don't realize how many different positions there are and people looking at and working on different things specifically. So one of the days we went to the FCC and had multiple people talk to us about their position and what they work on, and it was really, really interesting how there are people who their whole job is to answer calls and emails and read letters on people have written from rural areas like ours and answer to those problems every single day. I think it's just kind of changed how I look at technology, really. Like, as a teenager, there's kind of just like this stereotype that we're just all obsessed with our phones and the internet, and which is like partially true in a way, because that's really all we see it as or use it for right now, is like school and communicating with each other online. But it's really just changed how I see like how it really affects everyone as a whole, and how much it's able to connect our small area to everywhere else, and everyone else's small areas and rural areas to everyone else, and help our communities grow and flourish. I think that getting to share that experience with all those other kids was probably one of my favorite parts of the trip. It was so cool meeting everyone, and everyone's from different areas, so it was really fun because a lot of people had like southern accents, or like talking to each other about things in different states, and like I think that was really one of my favorite parts, was sharing it with the other kids and getting to meet so many other kids and still being in contact with a lot of them. I think that was definitely one of my favorite things. I mean, obviously we all had being from a rural area in common, so that was fun. But school was definitely a big topic of conversation and getting to know each other, and just I honestly felt like my school was kind of big after talking to a lot of other students. I talked to one girl who her whole high school was maybe 20 people, which I thought was absolutely insane, and it made me feel crazy because like I've always thought that our area and our school is so small, but like learning about that was so interesting, and I feel like a lot of us definitely were able to find things in common through schools and just how things can be different in a small area. I talked to a lot of kids who their schools or their towns are just so small that they have to join with 2 or 3 other towns around them for schools or sports, or they aren't even able to have a certain sports team because they don't have enough people to run it or be a part of it, which is definitely a struggle that I don't know, that was very interesting to hear about, is just kind of how small their schools could be and how much of a struggle that created for them. I kind of have two, but neither of them were really stops. But I'll just explain, I guess. So the Washington Monument was probably one of my favorite things, and there wasn't really a stop on the tour where we went specifically to go see that, but I loved how you could kind of see it from all over in the city, and that was definitely one of my favorites. And then Saturday, which was the last day, was also one of my favorite days as a whole, but as far as stops go, probably one of my favorites, because that was the day we kind of had the most freedom to explore on our own and look at things. And that was when we were going to a lot of the museums and Smithsonian's, and that was really, really cool to me to get to choose which ones you wanted to go see and get to walk around with our new made friend groups and explore them. Snapchat is probably my number one favorite app, just being able to communicate with friends and talk to them. And then I also really like Pinterest. I love Pinterest. My playlist jumps all over from day to day, but Beyonce is probably number one on my playlist at all times. I also really like kind of like indie folk music, like Bon Iver, Sylvan S.O., Dominic Fike. I love music. I have music on at all times, all the time. Especially to anyone considering writing an essay or trying to go for this, 100% try. It is so worth it. I was so sad when my parents picked me up from the airport because I just did not want it to be over. I made so many new relationships and great friends that I'm sure I'll stay in touch with for a long time. So 100% at least try to go on this tour if you can. But then as far as like the actual tour itself or being there, bring comfortable shoes. There's a lot of walking. And just don't be afraid to talk to people. It can seem really awkward and intimidating at first to be in a big room full of 100 new people you've never seen or met before. But don't be scared to put yourself out there and really talk to people, because you also will not regret that, because you'll probably make some of the best friends of your life. I just really want to thank Arvig for giving me this opportunity and sending me out there, because I will truly never forget this experience, and I'm so grateful for it and had so much fun.